Okay. Oh, now you're gonna throw me errors the second I start. What's the problem? Stream's audio bitrate is lower than the recommended video. I better have sound. I'm gonna cry if I don't have sound. Nope, I have sound, so there's nothing wrong. We're gonna pretend that there's nothing wrong. Ranked zero build solos is back. I guess they were testing the waters at the beginning of the season, so we are in fact doing ranked mode, which is perfect because I don't have podcast topics prepped today. I was unsure on whether I was even going to be able to do this tonight. Like, I figured I might be able to. I was not preoccupied with football. So, yay. But I still wasn't sure if I was going to hit go live or if I was going to chill and play Stardew Valley all night. Because that's been what I've been doing. I've been revisiting a lot of single player games and just chilling in my own lane. So Stardew Valley's been a relaxing thing I've been doing real recently. I started like the other day, Captain Crunch themed run where my character is captain and I intend to profit strongly off of berry-based plants. Spring season's a little difficult because obtaining strawberries in the first year is a little bit stupid and not that profitable, so it's usually better to buy a bunch of seeds when they become available for strawberries and then just stockpile them until next year and then plant them so that you have them at the start of the season and then it's like worth it. But when summer hits, I will be investing in blueberries because blueberries are profit. Hopefully, I will have sprinklers sorted by then. I would really like to have quality sprinklers, but it's looking like I'm not even going to have regular sprinklers. Um, Man, I really should have just streamed Stardew Valley. Just had the Fortnite Friday thumbnail to mislead people, you know? That would have been funny, actually. But I feel like that's probably an issue for YouTube. Hopefully the game isn't too loud. Hopefully the audio is okay. Um, I have a couple things I can talk about. My phone. Okay. Where should we drop? I'm kind of limited at this point. Forget what the map button is. I have not played Fortnite in a little bit there. I actually missed the My Hero like event. I didn't end up buying any of the skins. I'm a little bit sad about that, but it's alright because I was gonna spend that money to get my leather jacket amended and have all my clubs on the back because it only had like one of the 3 or 4 things that I'm in, and I wanted it to have all of my things that I'm in on the back. So I'm having them add extra stuff to it, and that was going to cost me a little bit. So yeah, I think that's more of a worthy investment than Fortnite skins. just a smidge, you know. Um, but yeah, so that's what I decided to do. So no My Hero, no Todoroki, no Hiroshima, Red Riot nonsense. None of that. Just good old classic whatever this skin is. I think it's like Rogue Agent. Rogue Agent is like this was the $5 bundle from like season 3. They're like if you pay $5, you get this skin and all of its gear, which is realistically just it and the back bling because it didn't even come with a pickaxe. Um, I don't even know if it had a glider. I think it was just the skin and the back bling, but it was that and like 600 or 700 V bucks, which you know, that would be equivalent to $5 anyway. So back then, the V-Bucks exchange rate has actually shifted, which is kind of funny. Like V-Bucks are worth less when converted to USD than they were at Fortnite's launch because of the entire Apple debacle. It's kind of a funny story. They like back when they were trying to get people to buy V-Bucks. Basically, they ran this promotion, which they decided was going to be permanent. And it was like, well, if you pay us directly through Epic Games, direct pay through the Epic Games launcher rather than using, you know, iTunes money, then you get more V-Bucks for less money, or it costs you less money to get the same amount of V-Bucks, I think was the deal. So 1,000 V-Bucks, instead of being $9.99, it was like $7.99 or $8.99. I know it was the higher tiers that really got bumped down. So like what was $50 is now like 30 some dollars. But then that ended up not doing anything because Apple just kind of removed Fortnite and the Epic Games launcher from iOS. Which, funny story, I think it's coming back because of the EU's like legislation. Now that we've mandated the USB port on iPhone, I think they have to allow side loading of content as well. So only a matter of time until Fortnite's back on the iPad, which was my dad's preferred method of playing, but now he's mastered the keyboard method. Honestly, he's probably still going to go back to iPad. He just loved playing Fortnite for the iPad. That was his thing. I probably had more hours logged on Fortnite for iPad than I had logged on Fortnite for Xbox. Mind you, I moved from Xbox to Switch to PC. But still. So yeah, the V-Buck pricing is a little weird, but yeah, this is like a $5 skin from ages and ages ago, so maybe my account's more valuable now because even though it was $5 back then, you haven't been able to buy it since. What are you and why are you here? It's kind of floating. Learn force push and force jump while using lightsaber. Okay, so the lightsaber's back. We're doing this now. Give my shotgun. Todoroki's nonsense. I don't know how this works exactly. Like that. That's the force push. Cool. Alright, well, I guess push these guys. I gotta think of my podcast topic. There was one new topic and then there was one revisited topic. The new topic was gonna be whatever's going on with Yandere Dev, although I guess technically that's kind of also a revisit. I've never really talked about him on stream. I don't know what's going on, to be honest. I would have to pause and like read up on it because I never got the chance to watch any of those summary videos or else. But yeah, that guy that never finished that game is up to no good again. I don't know why the internet cares anymore. Not just shut up and leave this guy to rot in a corner of the internet that nobody's visiting. I don't know why we have to entertain this nonsense. Like, I feel like Yandere Dev is one of those corners of the internet. It's just like kind of messed up. And I'm talking like this person who is not mentally all there is being harassed by a wide group of people on the internet and just really shouldn't be on the internet in the first place. And it has only been detrimental to people on the internet and also that person themselves. And it would have been better had none of it happened. And I mean, I say one of those people because it just feels like Chris Chan, kind of. Not exactly, but same vibe. Just uncomfortable to watch if you have full context. Dude, this llama's teleporting me. What the heck? I didn't know that was a thing that could happen. Well, I'm gonna head into the ring. I took way too long to find my own player cursor. But yeah, I think we should all just ignore Yandere Dev, like, existing, and anytime it's discussed, just be like, no, we don't speak of him. And then be done with it. I feel like that would be the best course of action. I would recommend that exact same course of action to certain politicians. That's all I'm going to say there. Just, we don't speak of him, and then move on. But on to the revisited topic. There has been a lot going on in the game dev space, like Unity, in the Unity zone, since last time I talked about it on stream. And it's kind of exciting, actually. At first, the whole Unity, like, nonsense was really depressing, and it still kind of is, but they fixed a lot of what people took issue with. I won't say that they fixed it and that people are going to stick with Unity. That's not going to happen. People are rightfully leaving Unity, and that's a good thing. But Unity fixed their policy in a sense that now you won't be retroactively charged, because that entire thing reeked of illegal. Like, you can't retroactively change the terms of a contract to start charging someone money without their being able to have a say in it or terminate that contract. And if it sabotages their business, I feel like there's, like, I don't know, there's recourse there. Like, Unity can't force you out of the EULA and then kick you off of Unity using its services because you're not suddenly going to start paying them more money. It's like a landlord. You can't just triple the rent and... Well, actually, landlord's a bad example because you can totally just triple the rent. But it's the same vibe of, that's not cool, dude. You know? You know, you have to give certain ahead notice, and if you don't do that, then there's, like, liability there. It's going to come back to bite you, because, you know, you're supposed to give a certain amount of heads up before you make some crazy change to a contract. That way people can decide whether they want to renew their contract or not. That's how that tends to work. Anyway, point is, what's happening in the Unity space is great because not only... Basically, the way they changed their agreement is now if you make a game in, like, today Unity, then you won't be affected by the TOS change because it'll be for updated versions of Unity, like the 2023 LTS or whatever. Like, the newest builds of Unity will start charging you the way they wanted to, but if you stay on the old version, or if your app was made in an old version, they can't just... They're not going to retroactively try and charge you money for using an old version of Unity. They won't, The EULA stays the way it was for that version. That's what they promised before, and then they wanted you to forget that they promised that. But you know, after people got angry, they did hold through with their promise that they made like 4 years ago. Um, which is good. You should be held to keep weird legal promises. But what's also happening is there's a big... Basically everybody ever who used Unity and was like a game studio has spoken out against the thing. And everyone who's like been involved with Unity is like a member of the community. So like there was Gup, or was it Gun, or it was something, GU something. Unity game. Basically, the oldest group of people using the Unity engine said we're dispersing, and they used to hold like conferences and events just themed around Unity. And it was like a community event. And now that's gone. But they're encouraging people to go and take a look at Godot. The big tutorial guy that does like every Unity tutorial is going, and he's like, I'm learning Godot now, so we'll see what I end up doing. So that's neat. And yeah, Godot's just getting a huge influx of people and a huge influx of support. If you didn't know, Godot is essentially like budget Unity. That's not fair to Godot at all, but it's an open source project, and it's super lightweight too, by the way. It's easy to deploy in offices, so it makes a perfect replacement for Unity because you don't have to download gigs upon gigs of new software for each computer in your office, because Godot is barely a couple megabytes. And that's awesome. Anyway, point is, Godot is now, shifting focus, and they're going to focus a lot on heightened C+ or C# support. And C# was like the coding language. Is it C# or C++? One of the two. And that was like the go-to. That was what you coded with if you were writing scripts for your Unity projects. And now Godot is shifting focus because they have been... Godot has its own scripting thing, and then also it has like an interpreter, and so you can code stuff in Python, you can code stuff in everything but JavaScript for some reason. Anyway, point is compatibility for different coding languages has been kind of and especially with the one that Unity used to use. So you've got all these Unity devs that are moving to Godot because it's the lightweight and most popular option alternative. And then it barely supports the coding language that they're used to. So that kind of blows. But luckily, Godot is shifting focus to try and fix that as soon as possible. That's going to be their main focus going forward, is getting that up and running, the C# coding language compatibility in the engine. Hey, buddy, come down and fight me. Get out of here, buddy. Seriously, though, I'm like... Just slurp some juice real quick. He's gone. I have never fought with a lightsaber before. Bye. He's roaming redeploy, I don't. I'm out of here. I'm honestly sad I haven't dropped more kills this game because this is ranked. And I need to be doing that, but I'm not going on rampages the way I used to. I got worse at Fortnite. I didn't think it would happen. I didn't think that I was that good in the first place, that I was just going to get worse. But I used to not take it seriously, and now I kind of do, and it's coming back to bite me. Luckily, I'm getting a crap ton of challenges done. Aw, crap. Come on. Nah. Can't end like this. Okay, it can. It's alright, I got some Battle Pass levels going on, and I placed top 7 in my first round. We'll see what my... I had 2 kills. That's not, like, abysmal. It's just not great. But 2 kills in high placement might be enough. Yeah, there we go. I am in gold. Oh, I forgot the numbers count forwards instead of backwards. Okay. I thought I was going to level up to, like, platinum or something. I just ready back up. I actually leveled pretty far there. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens when all of these developers pick up Godot, because we're going to see a ton of tutorials. And since Godot is, I don't know, it is lightweight, so I think people are going to learn it a little easier than Unity, even though that was like the de facto coding thing, like game programming tool for students. Like everyone at a game dev school, if you take like a game dev course at a college, or a game dev, if your high school has a program, they're going to be teaching you Unity, or at least they were. So if the schools can make the shift to Godot, that's going to be crazy. It's also going to be good for the schools because they don't have to have crazy computers to run it. Godot, again, it itself is lightweight, but it can do some crazy things. So there's also a good chunk of people making the trek to Unreal Engine, although that's also a little pricey. But if you're like a... Dude, All Might's a skin? I didn't know All Might was a skin. I thought it was just Deku and Bakugo and the girl. I didn't know All Might was also a skin. That's kind of sick. Now I'm angry that I didn't get All Might, because he... Skeleton Man. Alright. Anyway. As I was saying, if you make, like... I don't want to say double A games. That's not a thing. But if you're between... If you're like a game studio, mid-tier game studio that... You don't make indie games, but you don't make AAA games, but you have enough income that you want to make your project have some punch to it next project you work on, Unreal Engine's not a terrible choice. It's actually probably the best choice for you if you were formerly working in Unity. But Godot for indies is going to be amazing. I wonder what they're going to do with Among Us, actually. Dude, I need to play Among Us. I need to, like, harass a bunch of people and get them to play Among Us with me. Small Might skin, yeah. I, I wonder if he has, like, a transformation emote that lets him power up and be All Might hero mode. Muscle form, or whatever they called it. He probably does. Or maybe if he gets the Deku Smash, maybe he levels up. I don't know. But yeah, I'm angry that I never had the chance to buy All Might skin, because that's sick, actually. I can't wait for My Hero in Fortnite Part 3, where you get to buy Aizawa. That one I'm definitely getting. Is Aizawa is low-key my favorite character. Why is this pizza not doing anything to my shields? Okay, well now it works, because I took it out of the box. Dude, what the heck? Strange. I thought those ropes would bounce me for some reason. Hey, fish guy, what's happening? I ain't got it. What's my battle pass challenges? Where's that at? Tab? Oh, that's on the map screen. Quests. What do we got going on? We got the Star Wars girl. Black Fulcrum tokens. I'm gonna track that. It's gonna be my thing for the day. You didn't eat them? Well, no. Okay, I was eating the first ones. I took them from the box the second time around, and then I ate them after I took them from the box, and that healed my shields. But when I ate them straight out of the box, because there was 2 buttons there. One of them is if you hit E on it, it just eats the pizza out of the box without you having to hold it as an item. Whereas the other one lets you take it as an item to store for later. So ideally, you eat half of it out the box to restore whatever then, and then you pocket the rest to heal you later. That's the entire purpose of the item. Except that when I was eating it straight out of the box, it did not heal my shields for some reason. Which was weird. I was supposed to be eating them, but no, they were just disappearing. I'm gonna travel to the location where those token thingies are. Get the worst thing going. Hey buddy, how's it going? Don't mind me, I'm just going. Oh, that's my bike. Dude, I'm so bad at this game. Thought my bike was another player. Okay, well there's the ring. I guess I won't be getting those doodads. I shall board my steed. Mount my steed. Travel once more. And I'll drop for those locations in the edge of the map. Next game, once there's not a ring there. And I'm an idiot. In other news, this guy is green. I mean blue. Okay, well, that's just case in point. Also, does my audio sound alright? Because I played around with settings. It was coming through awfully quiet on the monitor, so I upped the gain on the mic, and then I upped the volume in the thing. So I should be loud. You probably hear my space bar, but I can't do much about that. Just so long as I'm not unbearably loud. To be honest, I don't even know if the lightsaber is that good. Maybe I'll combo saber with the turret. I feel like that could definitely throw some people off. Sometimes I just go into Disneyland and then I come back and I have a lightsaber. Dude, who? Where are you at? Idiot. Oh, that uses stamina. No wonder. Uh. Does this give me slap effect? Nope. Cool. I'm like comically bad. Not too loud or quiet, even with music in another tab. Perfect. Get in the storm, idiot. Ah, come on. I got sniped by some idiot. That's messed up. There were 2 freebies in the storm. Oh. Alright, well, that's gonna not look good. Okay, I went up. That's actually surprising, because I figured 0 eliminations was gonna be a no-no. Feel free to you got any news going on? What's going on the internet? Anything that I don't know about that I could be talking about? Forgot to bullet point things. I guess I'll do my usual gaming news Google. Pre-orders for Super Mario Bros. 1 or Mario RPG just $49 each. Which? Oh, Geek. Okay, this is a sponsor thing. You can pre-order it with a deal at Geek Alliance. Mario RPG drops on September 17th. Super Mario Wonder drops the 20th of next month. So that's cool. I'm looking forward to it. It sucks though. There's so much Mario stuff coming out and I want all of it and I'm never going to have all of these games. I have to pick like 2 and those are going to be the Mario games that I have for the foreseeable future. Cuz it's just a lot of money to spend on games. Oh, there's a trust that article. Okay, this one's a pretty big one. I talked about okay. I guess I got two topics now. Topic one, and I'll just cover this briefly. SAG-AFTRA, the basically the actors union. There were two big unions in the Hollywood sphere that were striking. There was the WGA, the Writers Guild, and that was all the writers for like movies, TV, and all that crap were on strike because they didn't want AI replacing writing staff. I forgot to drop at those spots. I'm gonna glider my way all the way over there. Ranked quest. Eliminate opponents with an assault rifles or pistols. Dude, I actually love the suppressed pistol. I'm gonna like go for suppressed pistol kills. Ranked quest. Does that mean I get bonus like ranked? Renown or whatever? Do I get bonus rank points? Anyway, so the Writers Guild strike ended because they did strike a deal. They struck a deal. I don't remember what the details of that were. I wish I did, because I would have covered it. But the other union from Hollywood, they're like, you know, the we produce content sphere. People say Hollywood. Not all in Hollywood. There's other places. Okay, I guess a lot of it's in Hollywood. Point is, SAG-AFTRA is the actors side of things. People didn't like, again, it's AI fear. You know, I don't want my likeness to necessarily be replaced by an AI, and I don't think that a contract that clears that should be the norm, you know, as an actor. Other things include getting paid better. Lead actors get paid a lot. Anyone who isn't a lead actor doesn't get paid a lot, like at all. There were a lot of really poor people just in Hollywood. They're actors. They may have been side characters in big shows. You may recognize them. And they were just poor because they don't make enough money, and they don't make like royalties. That was the big thing. They don't make royalties on streaming. Writers and actors and just comedies in general, they don't make money off of streaming, which sucks when you're in like a movie and the movie bombs in the box office and then goes straight to streaming and like gets a bunch of streams. That's the thing. People aren't going to the movies anymore because they know everything's going to go to streaming. So they're already paying for a streaming service. They're not going to go see the new Disney movie in theaters. They're just going to wait for it to come to Disney Plus because they're already paying for Disney Plus. You know? And it's not just Disney Plus, it's whatever's on Hulu, it's whatever's on HBO Max, it's whatever's on everything. So that sucks for the people making the content because they don't see a dime from streaming. Like the way that streaming services divvy up their money is not necessarily disclosed. Netflix is pretty good about paying out money for things that draw in viewers. At least that's my understanding. That's why they have so many original series. But beyond that, like Disney streaming doesn't earn you money, or being a big thing on HBO Max, especially for a non-exclusive. If you are an exclusive, they'll give you money. But if you're not an exclusive and you get pushed to streaming after the fact, then you're losing all your money because you're not making nearly as much as you would have been in the box office. Or, you know, if it's like a live event on TV, they're not going to keep airing reruns. You can just go see it on streaming. They're going to put new stuff on TV. So suddenly you're not making as much royalties off of television ad rates because you're not making royalties on TV ads and you're not getting a dime from streaming. So there is big strikes going on. SAG-AFTRA is still on strike, even though WGA is back in town. They're done striking. One big note that was made was like, go support your colleagues on the picket line. Because SAG-AFTRA is still on strike. They never got their deal, so the Actors Guild still working on that. Basically, what this becomes gaming news is because SAG-AFTRA also expanded their strike to include actors from games, so like actors that give up their likenesses, or voice actors, or motion capture like actors, because a lot of like AAA games use mocap for stuff. They really don't need to, dude. It's not hard to like edit cutscenes and like animate characters, but they just decided that mocap was like the thing to do to make it super awesome realistic. So games like Red Dead and like maybe Cyberpunk, I don't actually know about that, but like games on that scale have been using motion capture and there are actors in motion capture suits and they're not getting paid very well. So people like that are now on strike also. And so the headline I have here is SAG-AFTRA talks with video game industry end with no deal. So they were talking with different game companies. I actually want to read the article to see what game companies are named here. 10 companies facing a possible strike. Activision Productions Incorporated, which is probably a subsidiary of Activision Blizzard, involved with like producing cutscenes and stuff. Blind Light LLC, don't know who they are. Disney Character Voices, I do know who they are. Electronic Arts Productions Incorporated. I don't know what EA needs a production company for, but good on ya. You don't need a production company for FIFA. Unless you're talking Apex Legends cutscenes, but I figured that was all Respawn's doing. I really have no idea what their production company even does. Maybe the Star Wars games, but they're not even doing Star Wars games anymore. There's no Battlefront. Okay, anyway. Epic Games Inc. That's rough, buddy. Formosa Interactive, don't know who they are. Insomniac Games. Take-Two Productions, which, if you didn't know, Take-Two owns Rockstar Games. So Take-Two Productions would be, like I mentioned, the people behind the Red Dead motion capture cutscenes, and also whoever's supposed to be working on GTA 6. VoiceWorks Productions sounds like a general company. I just blew myself up. I'm gonna cry. And WB Games, Warner Bros. Subsidiary game. WB Games, I really only know them for like... What's that Smash Bros. Thing they did? I don't know. Point is, SAG-AFTRA was supposed to be talking to these game companies, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna go on strike, but you want to talk first?" And so they talked first, and they didn't reach an agreement, so they're probably gonna go on strike. We'll see if that results in anything. Honestly, I think actors in video games is such a small portion of, at least it's an underrepresented portion. Actors in shows are the faces of the shows. Actors in games don't necessarily need to be there depending on what the game is. So going on strike might not inhibit production to the point where the strike might be a dud. if I'm being brutally honest here. Unlike, the actual Hollywood strike, I don't know how much you're going to accomplish with a game strike, game actor strike. I don't think you're going to go very far with that. Sorry. Good luck, My condolences to those out there in the unions on the picket line. It's hard enough to go with such little pay, and now you're putting it on the line to maybe get better pay. So you're going without pay until they decide to talk. That just blows, dude. So I wish the unions the best, but I really don't see a video game strike. Then again, I'm not knowledgeable on this subject, so what's my 2 cents worth? But I don't know how far that's gonna go. Motion capture looks less real than animation. Yeah, I don't exactly. I mean, for body like animation, if you're talking like body movements, you got a person doing parkour or like waving their arms or being super expressive with their body, that's fine. Facial motion captures needs to go a little further. I mean, the technology's there. It's more so mapping the movement of the face to the digital asset usually is where the issue lies. So motion captured faces in video games just look really creepy because they don't know how to map a face to a video game character. Um the other thing that I was going to talk about, and this is also depressing, Epic Games has laid off about 16% of their workforce. Um, Epic Games was in a big growth spurt there, but now that they're shifting to what I'm going to be calling the Roblox structure for their monetize, basically, so Fortnite was getting really big there. It has been for years. Fortnite blew up. Fortnite propelled Epic Games into this big growth phase. Now they've kind of stabilized, and so they need to stop growing. I think they kept growing for just a little too long there. There were a couple stupid acquisitions that didn't quite make sense. Acquisitions being, Epic Games bought other companies to merge with them or whatever. There were some acquisitions that just didn't make sense. So a lot of those have been not undone, but like some of their acquisitions have been spun off into their own individual companies again, meaning Epic Games is no longer like the owner of them. But then other ones have just been laid off. I will look for more details as soon as I'm done looting here. But I seem to remember one of the details was they didn't want to fire a bunch of devs. These aren't mostly devs being fired unless they're like devs that weren't working on major projects. They're keeping most of their devs. I don't want to say overhead. That doesn't sound right either. That sounds more like a Zuckerberg type of thing to do, is to fire all your managers of managers and stuff and just kind of thin the chain of command. Yeah, they were talking about stabilizing their finances. So they were trying to nip this in the bud early. So they fired these people relatively suddenly, but it was a small amount of people, and they think this will put them back in the green so that they don't have to have more waves of layoffs. It'll just be the one and done. Hopefully that's the case. One thing that they never talked about in their discussion with the news was the fact that Epic Games is being sued in a couple different ways. Um, there was also the strike that I just talked about. Don't know how much that's going to affect them. Doubt it will. Maybe those people will also just get fired. Hope not, but wouldn't doubt it. But they talked about they have like a set number of employees now, and they want to keep it there, so they're done hiring people. Ain't a balloon when you jump. Is that gonna pop when I land? Dude, this is sick. Forgot about balloons. Hell yeah. I need like a better scoped weapon. All right. Pizza party. And let's see if it works this time. Eat a slice. Okay, that one did heal me straight out of the box. Don't know why it didn't last time. I now have to like watch my jumping or else I'm gonna get janked around. I prefer the rapid fire SMG. Okay, back to the topics at hand. What? So, yeah. Oh, that was the weird acquisition. Epic Games acquired Bandcamp, which is like a music thing or like an audio. I don't remember whether they're a DAW or whether they're like a uh, a music site. They're either like a Spotify alternative or like a Reaper alternative. And those are two very different things in the music sphere, but point is Epic Games acquired Bandcamp didn't make sense. Yeah, no, it was a Bandcamp has made its name as a place where independent artists could make a better return on their music than streaming platforms. So its purchase by Epic raised eyebrows with questioning how the two businesses fit together. But yeah, this announcement suggests those doubts are well founded. Epic has offices around the world, including the UK. It's not yet known where the job cuts will fall. Okay, so Mr. Sweeney said that the posts were being shed without breaking development or our core lines of business. So 2/3 of the layoffs were in teams outside of core development. So they're shaving off the fluff, for better or for worse. This is going to affect them as little in the short or medium term as possible. And hopefully in the long term, they'll be stable. And I think that's the vibe that this whole announcement is being given off. 16% of the company is nothing to scoff at. That's a crazy amount to have to lay off. Big shame. Sorry to hear it, but very least, if Fortnite's not going to disappear, because I'd be out of a job. No, but seriously, it's interesting because that gives us a little insight into Epic Games' whole like monetary structure because they make a little bit of money off of Epic Games Store, but they don't charge like big fees the way Valve does. Like Epic Games is actually a way better storefront to publish your game on if you're talking like monetization because they take a way smaller cut than Valve likes to. Valve wants a big piece of the pie when it comes to the money they want from you for putting your game on their site. Yeah, that was stupid. I'm never taking the balloons option in ranked again because even though it's a cool perk, it's just not. It's good to goof off, but it's not viable for fights like this. I need to be able to jump at people with the shotgun. I was gonna use it to play the terrain, but I struggle with that. Um, but yeah, so it's interesting. Fortnite takes less of a cut from game sales, and so there's less money coming in that route. And when it comes to their games, i.e., Fortnite, and I guess there's Fall Guys, but mostly Fortnite, they're pivoting focus away from in-game cosmetics. I mean, they're still selling in-game cosmetics, and it's still going to sell relatively well, but their new thing is being kind of Roblox. I said, you know, they're moving to the kind of Roblox structure. You can make your own Fortnite experiences in the Unreal Engine for Fortnite thing, and it's kind of like making a map on Roblox. And then people can put in your code or whatever, as well as you can monetize your creations in Fortnite, and then you get a cut and they get a cut. And then so that's where Epic Games is trying to move their money flow into, but that's a less profitable, like, the dollar signs there are a little lower. It's still on the scale that Fortnite is at, it's still a decent source of money, but you have to be at the scale that Fortnite's at. You couldn't be a smaller thing and do whatever Fortnite's doing because it wouldn't be profitable. There's a lot of loss there before the gains start to pile on. And so, I don't know. It's good that they're stabilizing now, and otherwise they're going to. Because that sort of. Dude, game companies go under all the time. It's not even funny. Just downright tragic. The gaming industry is just. It's very volatile, is what I'll say. It's volatile. You can make great games. You need to know how to market them. So studios that just can't manage to find an audience or market their game to their audience, they go under all the time. They can put their heart and soul into a game and it just goes nowhere, despite having a huge budget or maybe not having a huge budget. Sometimes you'll make BattleBit Remastered and you'll make $18 within a week, or $18 million within a week, because people want to play Roblox Warzone. And so this little 3-man indie game suddenly becomes the top purchased game on Steam. And then you have studios, like, for every one, um, for every one Baldur's Gate, I would say there's probably about 5 to 10 studios that make a game on the level of Baldur's Gate, and then they just go under because not enough people bought it. Because people can only buy so many games, and it has to be something that an audience will buy, like a wide audience. If you make like a super specific niche game, then it better not be super high budget, or else you're never going to make that return because not enough people are going to buy it. That's why indie games get to be so niche, whereas AAA games have to be pretty general in what they are. You're not going to see a AAA, like a AAA. I'm trying to think of like a niche genre. Why we don't get a lot of movement shooters. Oh, come on, dude. I shot you. Like, twice, and it didn't go through. I'm gonna watch this back on the stream, because I'm a little... Okay, I kind of whiffed there. That's tragic. I was like right to the left of her, right to the right of her. Unfortunate. I'm gonna do one more ranked match, and then I'm going back to regular. Unless I get some big points in. Got killed. Oh, it is the silly girl. Dude, I need to... Actually, let me... I unqueue. I continue. Return to lobby. I accidentally dragged the window and now it's not the right size. Hold on. There we go. Go to Battle Pass and I will start claiming things. I only have 18 stars? Dude, I'm gonna cry. I can get Silly Girl. There we go. I can get V-Bucks. There we go. She gets a drone glider. That's sick, actually. And I can't get it yet. Got a theme. The silly wallpaper. Okay, I'll equip silly for the sake of it. We are now silly. Alright, one more ranked match and then, well, I guess we'll see how ranked goes. Yeah, gaming industry is just rough. There's really no way to fix it. I know people are like, the gaming industry needs to change. I want one person to write down like 10 things that the gaming industry needs to do differently that are all feasible changes, you know, in capitalist society, capitalist economy. Because I feel like that's the root of the problem there is just you can't really fix gaming industry the way it works. Gaming is so unique in and of what it is that I feel like you can't fix the gaming industry unless we undid capitalism at its core. Just the two things don't mesh well. Gaming and, you know, making video games and having a company that makes video games, and then capitalism. And they don't overlap. It's a Venn diagram of failure. You can't play Fortnite well on Discord, though, because you'd be relentless. Dude, shut up, dude. Nobody cares if you play Fortnite. And if they do, then they have their priorities out of whack. It's really not a big deal. Get over yourself. Assault rifle and explosives. Okay. Also, you can turn off rich presence in Discord to where it just doesn't show what you're playing. There's a setting. I had it turned off for a little. Oh, Jesus. There's like 10 people dropping at this spot. I'm just headed for that little island in the middle. If you're worried about getting bullied for playing things, then either, like, it's a computer that you got to play games. Why would you leave rich presence on? Name a game that you wouldn't get bullied for, like Terraria. You play video games. That's a bullyable offense already, so just like, get over it. Move on with your life. Be better than that. Dude, the rocket ram is an item. I forgot. They made it a lot rarer, I feel. I haven't seen it, like, all day, actually. We're an hour into this, and this is the first rocket ram I've seen. Maybe because I've been brain off and attention, but Terraria is respectable. Fortnite is not, apparently. Okay, what about Among Us? Alright, you and I gotta enjoy the fungal, and it's not gonna happen because you're too much of a stinky poop head and are scared of getting bullied on the internet. Despite the fact that being on the internet is what you should be being bullied for in the first place. Dude, what? I thought that was a bot. Bot. Okay, yeah, no more ranked, dude. I got killed by that guy. Bullied for Among Us? Yeah, you would get bullied for Among Us. Turn a lobby. Get bullied for Among Us. You get bullied for Fortnite. Dude, okay, I got the skin. Lame. Okay, time to go into regular 0 build polo. What's collecting the tokens do now? Why is that? Snapshot. Ouch, near a low card guard for 5 seconds without alerting them. That's kind of goofy. Doing this in plant creator experiences. Select muscle car part. Guess I'll work on this challenge. Alright. I think I'm gonna end the stream at the 1 minute 30 mark, so this might be the last game. I know I'm like focusing on challenges, but honestly, now that I'm out of ranked, I think I could get the dub ski, so. Touch near guard is easy, just go to barn and see. Yeah. These guards are everywhere too. Have to be. Kind of weird that they're at the farm area. You would think they would just be at like the new POIs, but no. Everywhere. Why does that say 4? There's a compass at the top of the screen, and apparently it keeps all your quests. Alright. I just think it's crazy that all this stuff is coming out for the Switch. I guess it makes sense. So, people are basically 1000% sure at this point that at the end of next year, we are getting new Nintendo hardware. Like, release. So, sometime next year, new Nintendo hardware is going to be announced, and then it will launch at the end of next year. So, they're getting all of their big game announcements out of the way for the Switch, and these are just the last Switch games that we're gonna have. Because, like, these were their last big projects, and they're getting them finished, and they're getting them out. There may be more third-party support and more third-party announcements down the line, but really I think this is the last hurrah. This is the final bunch of Switch games, and honestly, I'm happy with it. You can't do much better than a 1000-Year Door remake, just out of the blue. But a 1000-Year Door remake on top of a Mario RPG remake, like, you took two of the biggest Mario art. It's weird that they're both at the same time, though. Like, interesting choice to greenlight both of those projects, knowing that the Switch's lifespan was coming to an end and that they were going to conflict with each other. I hope to God that it doesn't like negatively impact Thousand Year Door's like sales because Mario RPG is coming out first. Because they might just use that as an excuse to validate their like feelings about Paper Mario. Like, Origami King sold this much, but Thousand Year Door only sold this much. So obviously, new Paper Mario that's bland and garbage is better because it sells more. That's how Nintendo likes to operate. They're like, this is what sells. Game doesn't sell. We don't make that game anymore. You know, nobody wanted Chibi Robo Ziplash, so obviously Chibi Robo's not a good franchise, despite the fact that Chibi Robo Ziplash wasn't really a Chibi Robo game and it was like, hey, Pikmin garbage. Dude, Chibi Robo is the. If there was one thing that the Switch could have done different, would have been had a Chibi Robo game. Chibi Robo's like Pikmin, but without Pikmin. Does that make sense? I wouldn't have gotten away with that if this was ranked. I took a bunch of fall damage and then proceeded to not get hit while sidestepping in the most predictable manner possible. I should be dead, but I'm really not. I came through here and then forgot to actually do the thing. Yep, there we go. Stop that man, 21. Just gonna ready back up. One thing I did want to talk about with all the Mario games coming out. Luigi's Mansion 2. I have some weird questions. Why not both Luigi's Mansion games? And the reason I'm saying that is they gave us the Pikmin 1 plus 2 treatment, and we're like, okay, every Pikmin game is now on the Switch. This is the Pikmin console. You can buy every Pikmin game. They were not concerned about launching 2 Pikmin games at once, or like launching the old Pikmin games and having the new one come out. They were like, heck yeah, Pikmin Fever time. You can now play every Pikmin game on the Switch. Why didn't they do that with Luigi's Mansion? Because here's why I ask that. So Luigi's Mansion 2 for the Switch, if it is an asset reusing sequel, if it's like a remake or no, it's a remaster where they just reuse old assets and then spruce things up a little bit. Especially if it's using old code and stuff. And it's just kind of like we're giving it the one screen treatment where it's like this was a 3DS game, but we're putting it on one screen and it's higher res, but we didn't actually have to change a lot to the base game to get that to work. Other than add a map button. You know, if it's that medium to low effort of a re-release to make, I was going to say sequel, that's the wrong word. It was that low effort of a game to just do. Not like low effort in a bad sense, just not high effort. Like, this isn't a rebuilt thing from the ground up like Thousand Year Door looks like it's going to be, where it's got like fancy shadows. And I bet Thousand Year Door is also reusing old assets too, but it looks much refreshed, whereas Luigi's Mansion 2 just kind of looks like Luigi's Mansion 2 in HD. And that's what the name of the game is, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. I gotta beg the question, if you're just pulling the assets from the 3DS version of the game and plopping it on the Switch and calling it a day, why didn't you just pack Luigi's Mansion 1 in there as well? Because Luigi's Mansion 1, if you have forgotten, also got ported to the 3DS in the same engine that Luigi's Mansion 2 was in. It was at the tail end of the 3DS's lifespan. That may have been the last Mario IP game on the 3DS before it was retired, actually. Either that or like Paper Jam. but I think it was Luigi's Mansion 3DS edition. And Luigi's Mansion 1 for the GameCube was brought to the 3DS. Why didn't they just drag those assets and make a Luigi's Mansion 1 plus 2 super combo for $70 or something? Because, mind you, Luigi's Mansion 1 is a very short game, so it couldn't stand on its own unless you were to release it for like $30. At least that's my opinion. If you're releasing it on the Switch. Maybe they got away with it on the 3DS because the 3DS had more bite-sized content. But on the Switch, in this day and age, year 2023, you can't release a 2-hour-long game for $60. Not when you just released Pikmin 1 and 2 for, $25 a pop or whatever. So it could have easily just been extra flavor on top of Luigi's Mansion 2 re-releasing. You could have just done Luigi's Mansion 1 plus 2 with an extra revamped Scare Scraper, and that could have been it. And instead they're just doing Luigi's Mansion 2. And it just feels a little weird. Like, you could have gave it the Pikmin treatment. It's like every Luigi's Mansion game is on the system. The Luigi's Mansion 3 game that was for the Switch, and then Luigi's Mansion 1 and 2 from the 3DS are now being transferred to the Switch in all of their HD glory. And that could have been super cool. And I feel like there's just a smidge of missed opportunity there. Because they chose not to do that. Maybe they didn't think of it. I feel like someone would have maybe pitched that idea. Because Luigi's Mansion 2 was also kind of a... I don't know. It's got enough content there. I think there's enough meat on the bones. Plus, you've got Scare Scraper, if that's coming back in its full glory. I feel like that's going to be fine enough. Infinite content, kind of. There were so many weird variations of bosses that you could find in Scare Scraper that there was technically unlimited content. Not unlimited, but there was a lot of extra content there in the online mode. So if the single player campaign wasn't enough to validate the price tag, the online was pretty fun. I had fun with it as a kid. I think it was worth it. Other weird thing, they didn't show multiplayer for Luigi's Mansion 2, and I'm a little disappointed because Luigi's Mansion 3 was awesome in the sense that you could just jump in as a second player and control Gooigi. Luigi's Mansion 3 was built around the idea of using Gooigi as this puzzle-solving gimmick where you just kind of flip between the two, Luigi and his gooey counterpart, and that was the puzzles. So having a second player control Gooigi just made sense, and so you could either do it one player or two player, and you wouldn't feel a difference. It was kind of like Snipper Clips, if you guys remember that game. Snipper Clips is sick, by the way. They should just do Snipper Clips too. Shadow drop that shit. I will buy it. Anyway. So I'm a little sad that Luigi's Mansion 2 HD looks like it's going to be single player only, except for the online. And I doubt the online's even going to do split screen. I bet that's going to be online in the same way it was on the 3DS, minus the download play, which just makes it really hard to play with friends unless you both happen to have the Luigi's Mansion 2 HD port for Nintendo Switch. Then you can play Scare Scraper together, but, unless you're all adults, I feel like a lot of kids, there's so many Mario games and so many Switch games, and they're all coming out all at once. I feel like none of these kids are all going to have the same games. So a lot of people are missing out on this multiplayer experience. That's what sucks about the Switch not having download play, and I'm sad about it. I'm hoping whatever this Switch 2 nonsense or whatever, just bring back download play, man. I miss that. Because download play was like an opportunity to experience games that you didn't own, and it was like a demo. You know, my friend had New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the 3DS, and I could drop in and I could be Luigi through download. Actually, I don't think that game was download play compatible. That's a terrible example. That was like one game that wasn't download play compatible. There was like there's Plants vs Zombies on the DS. Dude, I lost my copy of that and I'm so sad. I had so many hours logged on Plants vs Zombies for the DS. Um Download play on that was so fun because it was just the console versus mode that like kind of crunched down. Um Gotta pick up a pizza at Slappy Shores. Slappy Shores in the circle? It is. What's a good example of download play? There was Super Mario 64. DS had like a weird versus mode. It was actually kind of cool. There were 4 like sandboxy kind of maps that you could run around on, and you would just chase each other down to try and get all the silver stars. There was New Soup DS had 2-player versus where it had its own little maps that would loop back and forth, and you would fight for stars. But those games, because of the download play compatibility, they allowed you to experience a snippet of the game that you didn't own. You play with your friend who owned a copy, and it would download the demo copy to your system, and then you'd play it, and then the DS would delete it when you were done. But you would just play a game that your friend owned. You know, the two of you had a DS, and the one friend had the game, so you could both play the game together with the two DSs. The second DS just kind of functioned like a second controller and screen and stuff, and it just worked. Like bringing your controller to a friend's house to play on his Xbox, except the portable variation of that. And Switch games don't do that. They don't have download play, but also most Switch games don't have split screens. They don't even do the Xbox thing where it's like, yeah, it's like, and that sucks because the Switch thing is like, I can pop the. I'm playing my Switch in handheld mode, and I'm at the bus stop or not at the bus stop. I don't know. I'm at McDonald's and I'm playing my Switch while munching on my McChicken, and my friend shows up at McDonald's and he gets him some chicken nuggies and he sees me and he comes over and sits with me. And then we can just I can pop the Joy-Cons off my Switch and we can play Mario Kart at McDonald's. It's a little bit unpleasant because we each have one Joy-Con, but we can play split screen Mario Kart. That was like a major selling point of the Switch. You always have 2 controllers on hand. There are not enough games that just support multiplayer like that. It sucks. A lot of those games are just Wii U ports. There was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There was New Soup U. There was Super Mario 3D World. Those are the big 3 that I would say are like couch co-op friendly and are also one Joy-Conable portably, and you can just do it. Um, there's Pikmin Dandori battles. Yes. Luigi's Mansion 3 did a great job at that because you could just play as Gooigi. He would pop in, pop out, whatever, and you'd still just be the one guy playing on his campaign, but your friend could pop in and help you or join you and have fun and then leave. But man, it just feels like the examples of that are pretty few and far between. They don't need to be. Stuff like Scarescraper in Luigi's Mansion 2. It benefited so much from download play because I could go online and my sister could join me. We only have one copy of Dark Moon. Yes, it's called Dark Moon over here. Like, we could both play together online and find 2 other randos and play 4-player Scarescraper. Whereas now, It would be me by myself, and nobody can join me because there's no split screen and there's no. Oh, come on, dude. I tab out, and then gooey Rick Sanchez shows up. I cry. If you're just joining me, yeah, I suck at Fortnite. That's the gimmick of the podcast. I just kind of ramble and then get killed at the worst moment every time. But yeah, I feel like the whole multiplayer aspect of download play was just the perfect thing for handhelds. And they got rid of it with the Switch despite it having the opportunity to be the best it's ever been. They just stopped doing it. And that sucks, dude. That just sucks. It sucks, and it didn't have to. I'll go back and claim all the fish crab. And then that'll be it for Fortnite Fridays today. Sorry if you're just joining me. But I did say the 1 minute 30 mark was going to be about when I was going to cut it. So I'm claiming my rewards here. I think I'm going to go. But thanks for listening if you're an audio listener of what I guess is a podcast. Really, this is more side monitor content. That way you can pop over and look at what's happening. It's a gameplay podcast. So it's like the video element is kind of not removable. You lose a little bit. Why I'm not putting this on Spotify, it doesn't work. Anyway. I'm gonna go now. Thanks for listening in. The Duo's Cash Cup starts in 30 minutes. I'm not part of that. I don't know what's up with that. But if you want more Fortnite, you can look at the Duo's Cash Cup. See what that's about. If you want more of me, subscribe. Because it's hard to grow on YouTube. But you ring the bell, you'll see when I either stream or maybe I'll start posting videos here. I really do need to start posting videos here. I'm going to start recording little videos. The live channel videos are just going to be simple to edit. You know, me talking over gameplay about like one specific topic per video. That's all I intend to do here. I have another channel that's going to be edited content. However, I haven't had the time to get around to that. I swear I'll get to it one day. Hey, thanks for listening. See you all on the flippity flop, to quote Michael Scott there. Actually, a spot on my map I've yet to explore. I'll check that out next stream. Bye-bye. Goober's desynced with audio. Oh, I'm gonna kill somebody.